some of these tractors are autonomous. They just do it on their own.
Yeah, that's true.
What if that's the future of farming? You just like you're like at a computer.
I don't know.
Banging it out, and the tractor's out there driving in circles.
What is it going to do for chickens, though?
Chickens are screwed, man. They just pump those guys full of antibiotics.
Welcome to another episode of Kosmo Unfiltered, starring my boy Wes.
I'm the star.
What's up, bro?
Man. Just carpe diem, you know?
Carpe diem.
Seize the day.
Seize the day. I'm with you, bro. On today's video, we're going to be talking about chicken thighs, specifically honey jalapeno chicken thighs. Yep. But I feel like we can talk about chicken thighs in general and methods of cooking chicken thighs. Places to cook chicken thighs. Places.
You can cook them at home.
Yeah.
You can cook them in your backyard. You can cook them in a parking lot.
Yeah, you can do. I've done all of the above.
Tailgate.
Yeah, I've done all of the above.
It's like cat in the hat.
But the honey jalapeno chicken thighs, we did the overnight marinade.
You got all fancy with your green onions too, and your sesame seeds. Like,
yeah, that's only for pictures.
Still though, I mean, it was good.
No, they were great. They were absolutely great. But the marinade, the overnight marinade, is what brings them home.
Mm-hmm. Chicken thighs are not going to dry out anyway, but I've not been a chicken thigh fan, really, historically. But there was I forget, I pulled these recipes. We were trying to like cook a bunch of stuff, different one week, and I think 2 recipes called for chicken thighs, and they're cheap, which is nice.
Yeah.
And they don't dry out, and you can reheat them, and it's not trash. And I don't know, we kind of hit a stride where it was like, these are pretty good. We've been like keeping them regularly in the mix.
Yeah. You made nuggets with them?
I have done. Well, my buddy did that. He did it with a Joshua Weissman recipe.
Yeah.
I think it's like his spin on Chick-fil-A nuggets or something. Because that's what all that is.
They had grill to theirs. A lot of grill.
You think?
Oh, I know. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. They couldn't look me dead in the eye and convince me otherwise.
That they add what?
It's called grill. It's a seasoning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's actually called grill. So it tastes like you grilled them. Huh. But theirs are like, they put way too much on it.
Really?
Like hurt your gut too much.
At Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So in the stuff they're frying, they're putting grill seasoning?
No, on their grilled chicken nuggets.
I don't even touch those things. Those are awful.
Yeah.
Those are a crime.
Well, that's why.
Ooh.
Yeah. If they would reduce the grill seasoning that they put on there, or whoever is producing them for them, by 50%, they would have something.
Oh, did you see they in the spring? I don't know when this will air, but they made a statement that they are going back to chicken with antibiotics in it.
Who is?
Chick-fil-A.
Fuck that.
They're going to make the switch back to chicken treated with antibiotics. They didn't really give a reason.
They can't get they can't. Well, the other stuff's more expensive. I feel like we can't eat shit from the store anymore.
You got to really watch.
Not even fruit.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I heard the other day that fruit absorbs 40% more liquid than a vegetable. Meaning, if you spray it with a pesticide,
it's just eating
40% more of it is getting in there. I don't even know where you can shop at now. Well, terrible. I mean, on my side of Oklahoma City,
you got Walmart,
Crest, Walmart meat selection over by me is really good.
Well, they know what they got over there.
Yeah.
They like to test stuff out at that store.
Yeah. They also have organic, non-pesticide fruit and veggies. Now, we've all heard it. Organic doesn't mean anything anymore. And yes, I would agree on certain products. You have to just read the label.
Yeah.
Take
your time. I was reading where they have this new, you can hook it up to your trailer, like your tractor out in the field or whatever, and pull it through your crop. And it would, like, there's sensors or cameras underneath that can, like, read the ground and determine what's a weed from what your crop is. And it'll, like, laser the weeds out of your crop. So you don't, or bugs or whatever, like it's looking for all that stuff. But it's like an AI powered thing. And they've just tested it out. This has been their first yield, and they've had like a higher yield than they did with pesticides by using this machine that just like.
I feel like you'd have to drag it around a lot.
I don't know. I mean, some of these tractors are autonomous. They just do it on their own.
Yeah, that's true.
What if that's the future of farming? You just like you like at a computer.
I don't know.
Banging it out, and the tractor's out there driving in circles.
What is it going to do for chickens though?
Chickens are screwed, man. They just pump those guys full of antibiotics. It stinks too. I was listening on the radio about it. I guess they give chickens different kinds of antibiotics than they would give us.
Well, here's the deal. They'll just change it from a antibiotic to a something, and then they'll still say antibiotic free.
Man, they must have got boxed in because they straight up said it. Hey, we're going to serve chicken treated with antibiotics again. See ya. Crazy. I mean, I don't know how you could look at the last 15 years of Chick-fil-A and be like, you know what we should do? Change it. Like, they're making so much money. I get stuff's expensive, but man.
Well, maybe it's just the way they keep from raising the prices.
Maybe. I don't know. It ain't cheap to eat there. You kidding me?
No, it's not. I mean, it's not Five Guys expensive.
I mean, for our family to eat there, it's nearly $40-$45.
Yeah, but if you took your family to Five Guys, it'd be probably about $1,900.
Well, shoot, we could all eat one burger.
Yeah, you
and
get
still
a fry.
Go home with leftovers.
You get a fry.
We got one burger it's family style at Five Guys.
Me and my buddy Jeff went there and spent it was like $60 on two of us, man. And I'm like, what did I do wrong?
We bet my buddy he couldn't eat 2 burgers and both bags of fries, and he did it.
Oh my gosh,
he was hurting.
Anywho, chicken thighs.
We've been around the world of food now. Chicken thighs are good. I'm in.
I would have. I'll tell you, I would have used our Asian glaze on a taco with an Asian.
Yeah. What's like those tacos you did with the steak?
Yeah,
those didn't get any love, and they were good.
People, you know what? I feel like on YouTube's going to. This is my opinion, and
hot take.
I need to preface this.
We need a hot take button.
I have a lot of friends on YouTube with millions of followers, but I feel like YouTube is getting to you have to be so. What's the word I'm looking for? Ridiculous?
Yeah.
With your video to get any views. Not to mention, I feel like the food industry got absolutely dumped on last year because ad revenue, and I don't pay attention to ad revenue. I don't, but I know a lot of people that live off of that. Cut in half.
Really?
For everyone.
Wow. Wonder what that was about.
That's YouTube just taking that money. They probably can tell. They probably,
Well, I mean, a lot of guys are hitting some big numbers though.
Well, but then again, I can, if I was going to defend YouTube, I'd go, well, there's a lot more y'all now than there was 5 years ago.
There's like
everybody that knows how to grill bologna is on YouTube and already has a line of seasonings.
Yeah.
Pumping them. And I'm like, good for you. Knock yourself out.
Yeah, but man,
Jesus Christ.
15 years ago, it was like none of that was going on.
There's a lot of these influencers that you could probably grab 10 of them and grab every one of their rubs, and I guarantee you they are so close because they are off the shelf from a co-packer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just a label.
Yeah, And I don't want to sound like I'm hating on anybody for trying to make a living, but I think I was thinking about it. I was like, what gives me the right to sell rubs and sauces? Well, I've competed. I've actually tested these. That's
the reason for them.
These are my recipes. I did come up with them, and I did tweak them to get them to a point that they would win somebody money.
Yeah, and they have.
And they have. They've won a lot of money. arguably more money than anybody that's in this game.
Should have
anybody.
Should do the math.
Well, I know what we've done in revenue.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's not some better products out there. I have a lot of friends that have a lot of great products, and we have an unwritten code. You stay on your side of the fence, and I'll stay on my side of the fence. You come on my side of the fence, I'm going to come on your side of the fence. And if I come on your side of the fence, you're more than welcome to come on my side of the fence. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. But if you're going to season some chicken thighs,
but if you're going to
I think you need to tell your honey sauce story. Because you said it in the video.
Oh, yeah.
But it's worth. I think it's worthwhile.
Well, this is marketing 101.
Because you had comp sauce and you had what else?
At the time, we had comp sauce. We had sweet apple chipotle.
Yep.
Sweet smoke.
Yep. I forget about sweet smoke.
That's a great sauce.
It's a good one, man.
But it's the same. It's the same thing. Great sauce. Nobody buys it, so we discontinue it. And then
is sweet smoke discontinued?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, shoot.
Well, no one would buy it because the name on it wasn't catchy.
Yeah.
Wasn't shockworthy. We had honey sauce.
Yep. In the glass bottles.
And
great idea, by the way.
that was at the time. That was it.
Oh yeah, that was.
I believe so. Because the next one was cherry, then peach, then Opex.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, then raspberry. We couldn't give it away.
I remember
we couldn't give it away.
We were taking it home,
and then I got to thinking. I was like, oh, I wonder if it has to do with the name.
Yeah.
Honey. So, anyways, we got through that, and I called my buddy and I was like, hey man, let's redo this. Let's keep everything the same. But here's what I want to do. I want to test out jalapeno. And he's like, well, are you talking like jalapeno powder? And I'm like, no. It's
got to be the good stuff.
It's got to be the good stuff. And I don't think I'm going to give this secret away, but
don't do it.
Yeah. There's a way to get a flavor, but
not murder people.
Without murdering people, but I would venture to say 99% of all food scientists don't understand this.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is because I've sat with 3 of them and told this to them, and they're like, there's no way. And I'm like, there absolutely is a way.
I promise
I've done it many times.
I bet you there is.
But anywho. So I talked to him about it, and he goes, man, I think that's a great idea. Matter of fact, I'm not doing anything right now. I'm going to cook a batch. And I said, okay, let me know when you're done what it tastes like. Because when you cook sauce, a lot of people think you cook it and you taste it.
No, it's got to cool.
It's got to cool.
Yeah.
It's got to marry.
Yep.
It really needs to set for 2 to 3 days.
Long time
to let it understand.
Yep.
Really a week,
sure.
Honestly. He calls me back and he goes, "Oh my God, I'm overnighting this to you. It's so good." So,
thusly,
I was headed to the American Roll, and I had 20 or 30 bottles. And I gave it to a couple people there. Every one of us placed, I know it was top 5 in chicken.
Yeah. It's good on chicken.
100% top 10.
It's so good.
I think there may have been one guy out of 5. But
and it was perfect on the Weber too. All that came together. It was just
is so good. So good.
So get it before it gets discontinued again.
That one is such a great sauce.
It's good. I need to get some sauce when I leave here. I'm out. Fresh out.
But that's the honey jalapeno story, which goes back to, marketing.
You talk about food science. You ever been to like a restaurant where half the menu you don't understand what it is, but the chef knows what he's doing?
One, but he's passed away now.
That's terrible. This was I was doing some work in Colorado. We're Boulder. And there's a Michelin star restaurant. They have 1 star, but they're open 7 days a week. So they can get you in. They've got a big dining room and they're working, So we show up after we did, a whole day of work, and I'm reading the menu. It's like Mediterranean stuff.
Oh,
and that's way out of my depth. Love it. So they come to the table. They treat you. It's cool. Like the service is you automatically feel like, oh, this is a different thing. Guy gets us this mezcal that was like made by this family in Oaxaca or something. That's like they hang Iberico pork over the still instead of like poultry, which I guess is normal. And dude, it was so we're already like, okay. And they ask if you have food restrictions, and I don't, but I was like, I don't really like anything raw. And they were like, well, that would mean you can't eat this or this. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Give me whatever. And dude, there's something about taking a bite of something that's crunchy, that's like savory,
and raw.
That's like sour. It didn't even matter. Yeah. Like that dish had it looked like a piece of cheese, like a Kraft single.
Yeah.
But it was made out of like aged grapefruit. So you could see through it. It was like a gel. And like, I mean, you get that anywhere. I'd be like, I'm not eating that. But there, it was like, if you say I should eat this, I should eat this. Yeah. And man, dude, like your brain is like, thank you so much for eating this. Yeah. Like, there's like tasting it. And then there's your brain being like, holy shit, I'm going on a journey right now. It was the weirdest experience, but everything they brought out was nuts. It was so good.
And this is what I've always done in competition barbecue. I want to break the cycle of what your brain thinks it's going to get.
Disruptive a little bit.
I just want to stop. In today's words, you'd say, I just want to stop the scroll.
Well, they talk about Oreos, how they're crunchy and they're like that contrast.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't win with Oreos. You're going to eat as many as you can handle. Because it's, they got like, you.
We'll make them thinner. Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. Now I'll crush twice as many.
Yeah. Oh, good. I do a whole line of them, a whole row. That's what we call it at home. Doing a line.
We call doing a line something completely different.
We're Christians, okay? We're doing a line of Oreos.
Christians from Tampa, Florida.
Yeah. You can't trust any of that down there.
Isn't that where, that's where, Bert Kreischer grew up, right?
In Tampa?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. He's wild.
Did you see that episode of he was on an interview with somebody from ESPN?
Uh-huh.
And he and this guy played baseball, and this lady commentator, like they were having a conversation anyway, and Bert was like, "Yeah, I grew up in." No, he didn't say where he grew up. He goes, "Yeah," because the guy that was interviewing him, Dean something, he goes, "Yeah, I grew up with a guy named Dean something that I used to play baseball with," and and he goes on. They go, "Whoa, this is Dean," and he goes, "No way." And then Dean goes, "Where did you go to school?" And Kreischer says, "I went to Jesuits." He goes, "So you know Danny Brackey over there?"
Yeah,
and he
Jesuit
goes,
High School.
"Oh my
That's
God!" And it turns out that this kid that he used to pitch from, that went to another high school, ended up becoming, obviously
Weird.
went to college.
Yeah,
played for the Reds, became a Reds Hall of Famer, is now retired now, and it was
all in Florida. I know where Jesuit High School is. Our school used to play them in some stuff. They were like good. Typically, we were not typically, but.
What high school was yours?
I went to a little Christian school, Seffner Christian Academy. You talk about Florida, the town of Seffner is like idyllic. That's it, man. Like scrapyards and it's sketchy, man.
Cattle roaming.
You had chickens in the front yard. It's Anyway, I
That's
digress.
that's a lot of Florida.
Oh yeah, big part of it. Wild place.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, man. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you want this recipe, head on over to cosmosq.com. Print it off. Make it for yourself. I promise you this one will not disappoint.
Get the sauce.
But leave us a comment down below. What do you like to put on your chicken thighs?
I'm glad you said chicken and not straight to thighs, because that would have been like,
yeah. What do you like?
Never mind. Don't tell me. I don't want to know all that. It's too much for me.
All right. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.